Nice. Same dude as last time. What's his name? Ifness. Good shit. Good remixes. Although the last song did give me a copyright strike. Not very pog, but I should probably take that off since it did give me a copyright strike. I mean, it is the non-DMCA playlist. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Although I'm gonna put it in my other. I'm gonna put it in my other. This is good. It is good. Alright, well, I guess we're starting up with the usual. Alright, welcome back, everybody. My lips are a little dry today. My mind's a little dry too. Things are, not working as, not in tip-top shape. Christ. What are we gonna do today? Honestly, I should have done more this week. I feel like I didn't. Why is this lagging? I'm gonna load bit. I did this much, which technically I did like half of it during last stream, but I wanted to get to 20, maybe do some tests today. It might actually be that I finish this today, maybe do a little incomplete test. I do have something set up right here. I'm gonna show it. I don't know if I'm gonna use it today, but I'm gonna show it, which is this second webcam. Second webcam with the where I guess during my tests, if I have physical, stuff written down, I could do that. Not a bad idea. I wonder if it can be focused. Probably can't. Oh, I messed it up already. Ripperoonies, dude. It was perfect. Oh. But yeah, I doubt I'm actually going to use that today. I might. Can I turn it off? I might just let that sit there, but I'm not going to use it. That was. But yeah. So encounters, I might do some doodles because I have some ideas. But I think I'm going to start off with this, and maybe if Copper ever comes in here, we'll talk about those. Just some location idea stuff. Yeah, we'll see. This beginning, really, my mind's like, meh. Wasn't even sure if I'm going to stream today. And I think this is actually going poorly because I'm falling into the same hole as I was last time, where what freed me from the items was that they were randomized, and I didn't have to think about the numbers. And they were kind of randomized here until I started doing this, which was adding the title. And then once I put the title, then I again started thinking like lore-wise what would make sense, and that's kind of slowed down the process. But I do think adds a deeper level right off the bat. Not that I'm going to include this in the prototype, but yeah. Because it's automatically I'm thinking like, well, what would this person have? What would they do? Would they technically be more like, how would you get around them? And that's just taking up brain space when I really could just be like S4 A3 But I'm fine with doing that because I do want to watch some videos. I do want to watch some videos. I want to make sure I'm not muted because I was worried about. This is what we drew last time. Very pog. Love it. Not sure about the ship. I know it was like a 2-minute thing. Not sure about that. Not in love with it. And then this is basically the same, just in the Word doc. I should transfer those over. And any notes today? I'm writing here. Bang bang. Okay. I was also thinking of doing like a website making stream, since I do want to make a web page for this. I'm just unsure of like if I have enough elements to show off on the web page. Ooh, I was actually thinking of. Oh, I forgot this. I should write it down somewhere to remind us. I'm gonna just open it. Just so you know, it's basically, I'm thinking of the other game, Greedy Gardens. And I was thinking of putting, because we did play it once. And I'm unsure if I want to link that because it was kind of a scuffed session. If I were to ever play it again with the guys, that might be good to show off. But I did want to watch it again just to see. That wasn't too long ago. It was before this. It was during. There it is.
What are you doing? 8. And then you move across the garden as far as your rolled number can take you. So this is a bit of a, like, it's on the other side of this.
It was an hour-long thing.
Right now.
Oh, you went too far.
Yeah, I mean, just stuff like this, like the Dickens. I know they're just playing around, but if this is supposed to like advertise the game and how it works, I don't think this would be the best thing to show.
Detach him, please.
I don't know how to detach him.
They have.
Yeah, I guess that's just for future reference. Yeah. Alright. So maybe no music right now. Let's watch some.
Salutations!
Well, Bethesda got officially finally bought out by Microsoft. And exclusivity stuff, let's talk about it. Let's do it. Okay, wait. Before I start that, is there anything I want to do? I did want to, because I do have some of the words here. And I don't know how many of these I want to use. And I need to think about how I'm going to implement missions into the prototype. Not hard. It's not going to be hard. It's going to be a little different than the game, though. But it's going to be, the idea is going to be there, you know. Basically, the missions, if it has to do with like a specific item or a specific NPC that is either criminal or not, you know, just listing it off as like, maybe it could be like a weapon with 5 attack. That. So any, you know, it doesn't have to have a name. Or like a hearts card. Or specified like 2 of spades, like something like that. So I could implement that. I was thinking 20, might change this though. I was thinking 20 regular and then 10 mission. I might just do 15 regular and 10 mission or 5 mission. I'll think about it. I'll think. This is all just gonna be a chill. It's just chill. I need to chill. Got my pizza. Pizza today. Got my tea. I could technically not have this. I might just. I showed the setup, but I turned everything off, so. Not have right here. Alright. I could disconnect. Not gonna affect this. Oh, this couldn't be. I think it's the other camera. Yeah, okay. What do you guys say, Maddie?
Everybody, it is Maddie here today, and man oh man is it a big day for Bethesda. As someone who's covered them since Skyrim came out, doing rare weapon and armor guides and following them as a fan for the majority of my lifetime, really since Morrowind, it's absolutely insane to say today they are officially under the ownership of Xbox. So now Xbox has 23 first-party studios. A lot of them are thanks to Bethesda, like Arcane, Bethesda Game Studios, Tango Gameworks, id Software, and the list goes on. So this is a new chapter for Bethesda. They posted a brand new video on their Twitter account, like your boy predicted, by the way, just emphasizing what it means to be a part of Xbox and what exactly has happened with Bethesda over the years, really just showcasing their entire history. And it makes you think, wow, they've been through a lot to get to this point in time. So to all my friends at Bethesda who have managed to get this deal done, congratulations. Today in this video, we are talking about, of course, the news. We're talking about exclusivity. We're talking about reports of a showcase in just a couple of days that has been reaffirmed, and plenty more like Game Pass editions, and what exactly this means for Xbox as well as Bethesda. So this is the start of a brand new chapter for Bethesda, one underneath Xbox, and I'm very curious to see how it goes as someone who's covered them for a decade. Now, not to toot my horn again and say, as I predicted, but as I predicted, there is an Xbox Wire post pretty much detailing what's going to go on with this Bethesda deal, and it seems like we're getting more information later on this week because understandably so, this is a big event. Xbox should stretch this out and make sure that people are continuously talking about it, dominate the news window for the next couple of weeks. So with that, let's start off with a Xbox Wire post by Phil Spencer, which starts off by saying, "This is an exciting day for Xbox. Today, we officially complete the acquisition of ZeniMax Media, parent company of Bethesda Softworks. It's an honor to welcome the 8 incredibly talented development studios, Bethesda Game Studios, id Software, ZeniMax Online Studios, Arcane, Machine Games, Tango Gameworks, Alpha Dog, and Roundhouse Studios, and their passionate global communities to the Xbox family. Now that everything is official, we can begin working together to deliver more great games to everyone. At every step building toward this moment, I've been inspired and motivated by the creativity, insight, and community-first approach of the talented people at Bethesda. Our goal is to give these teams the best foundation for doing their greatest work and to learn from them as we continue to build Xbox into an inclusive platform for all players." So just a standard introduction, nothing there really. Here's where we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of the conversation, and where a lot of people are excited, frustrated, confused, disgusting, and let's just say that the theorizing will mostly continue on. So let's read. It says, "This is the next step in building an industry-leading first-party studios team, a commitment we have to our Xbox community. With the addition of Bethesda's creative teams, gamers should know that Xbox, consoles, PC, and Game Pass will be the best place to experience new Bethesda games, including some new titles in the future that will be exclusive to Xbox and PC players." Philly boy was just threading the needle right there, threading that needle. Oh man. All right, so not exactly the confirmation I think a lot of people were looking for, and by that I mean that they're not specifying which games, they're not specifying the type of games. Our assumption as a community has been multi-platform games will likely be something like Elder Scrolls Online, future MMOs. We know that Elder Scrolls Online's developer ZeniMax Online Studios is working on a brand new MMO RPG, so presumably that would be multi-platform. Anything with live service elements like a Fallout 76, they're not going to strip that from PlayStation, or if they do another Elder Scrolls live service game or Fallout live service game or anything live service underneath any of these studios, they will go to other platforms, you would assume. I know some people will say, well, what about, say, Sea of Thieves, right? That's a live service game that is exclusive to Xbox and PC, but I do think it's a little bit different with Bethesda. That's just my assumption, however, but they're not specifying what, and it's a big non-answer. The only thing we get here is that they do say there will be exclusives, and to us, that's all we can really speculate about. What will be the exclusives? They didn't specify, hey, some existing series will be exclusive. New IPs will be exclusive.
That's good. I think that's 15. 17 minus 2. Yeah, I have here just a list of like names from No Man's Sky, like what people are assigned as kind of thing, which is a good general. You know, I don't want to go specific like geologist, but that's why I'm kind of even iffy about a biologist. Well, there could be like, a scientist, nurse, doctor, or be doctor. Do we need a doctor though? Would there be a need for a doc? What would a doctor even? Yeah, I don't know about that. Again, these are probably going to be more specific in the. Where both these shop? I guess it's fine. That'll probably be the last shop thing. Free shop. Merchant has a more most, and then we do have a black market shop. I'm actually thinking because I looked back, and target encounters technically don't only have captures, they may also have random events you could do, or maybe even missions for a target. That's fun to think about. But just in general for this prototype, I think this is enough. And then we'll do, so that's 15, and then we'll do, it's split off here just because I wrote these down over there, and not these yet. And we will do another split off here for the mission ones, I think will be these, and then one more. Yeah, we can do or skip prisoner. That could be fun. Yeah. General stuff here, and then I was also thinking, let me look. When you go into the in No Man's Sky, you can get titles yourself, and I think the titles you get are actually different than the ones I just showed. Yeah, hireling, friend, overseer. I don't know how many of these would work. Trade lord. That'd be sick. Some titles like trade lord. I have a really cool one. Conscript. Liquidator. I think those are in there. Messenger. Manager. Diplomat. Yeah, some of these are really cool. I might have to look into these. Oracle. But I just want some random ones just to work. We got those, and I should write them.
Licensed games like Indiana Jones, will those be exclusives? Because some games will be exclusives is the new case-by-case basis that Phil Spencer was talking about half a year ago when we first started talking about this. Exclusives will be on a case-by-case basis. Now it's some games will be, which is pretty much wordplay at this point. So the situation is the exact same. We know exclusives are going to happen. That much has been confirmed. Some people on the PlayStation side of things thought 0 exclusives were happening. I don't know where exactly you thought that would happen or why. I'm not trying to be an ass about it, but I don't know how people thought, hey, Insomniac was fleeced for $250 million and all of their games are exclusive to PlayStation. But when Xbox pays $7.5 billion, yeah, PlayStation's going to get them all. I mean, I just don't get that. And it still makes sense why they're going to take those multi-platform games, those multiplayer games, and put them over there, in my opinion. But when it comes to something like, I'm assuming Starfield, I think that's been locked down. I'm going to repeat myself because it seems like a lot more people are listening, and they were shopping exclusivity for something like Starfield. So if they were shopping for that, I can only imagine there are plenty of other games that can make their way into exclusivity. Reading on a little bit, and we'll talk about PlayStation now. As we previously shared, it's vitally important that Bethesda continues making games the way it always has. We look forward to empowering Bethesda's creative teams to reach even more players around the world, helping make future Bethesda titles the biggest and most popular games in their history. Xbox and Bethesda have shared a common vision for the future of gaming, both as fans and as creators. Bethesda understands the potential of Xbox Game Pass. So a lot of people receive Phil saying that the best place to experience these games from Bethesda is on Xbox, PC, and Game Pass. And in that quote I just read there, people are saying, oh, he's talking about PlayStation, but I think the very tongue-in-cheek hint here is him saying, both as fans and creators, Bethesda understands the potential of Game Pass after all of that. The key here is Game Pass, because number one, it's a value-driven offering, right? It's saying that instead of spending your $60, or now we're moving into $70, Game Pass will become more alluring as $70 becomes that staple. But on top of all of that is that how Game Pass will make its way to other platforms. Right now, we know that Xbox is definitely looking into making a Game Pass TV app, one that you can load up on your smart TV, and as long as you have a controller, you can access a whole library of games. You don't even need a console. That is the future, and that will reach millions and millions and millions of more players around the world. And that is very exciting to see, and I think that is where a lot of the cloud streaming success will really start to kick in.
I'm kind of not listening.
Xbox Game Pass being an app, and maybe what you see Nintendo.
Game Pass being an app. Okay. So you're saying something that can be on every system. It's just an app, like having Netflix on your Wii U, I think, or something.
Embracing cloud gaming, right? We see them do Hitman 3 with Control. I do wonder if they will one day embrace Game Pass coming to Switch at some point in time. I mean, there is a lot there to unpack, and I know it sounds heavy on speculation, but there is a lot of intention behind these PR statements. I know it says it's by Phil Spencer, but Phil didn't just sit down, pop up a Word document, and go, yep, done, ship it, here it is. This is reviewed through and through by PR teams to make sure it is absolutely sealed tight, that there's no loopholes, but there is room for specific wordplay that suggests things. It's absolutely intentional that after they talk about getting people to play as many of these games as possible, Phil specifically states that Bethesda understands the value of Game Pass. Just think about it. Game Pass is the future. This is Xbox's big thing right now. And even if these games all don't go fully exclusive, at the end of the day, Game Pass is a major win, right? Whether you're a Game Pass subscriber and you get a game that you were planning on buying that you thought you'd enjoy and you end up enjoying it, or you get to try out a game that you thought you'd enjoy and you end up disliking it. So there is a win there because Bethesda's publishing has been spotty at times. Also, when Phil says that they want to continue to have Bethesda make games the way they previously did, a lot of people receive that as, once again, platform talk. My interpretation...
Again, like, quickly. I was doing this during the stream last time, so I didn't really explain what I was doing, what I was reading. But here we have what I did in January that has to do with these encounters. And I do want it so that every civilian encounter has at least one way to gain money, one way to gain intel, mostly. There could be some rare cards that don't have that. And then having 3 scenarios is good. An easy one, with low gain, stat, or low stat gain. Like you can gain with low stat. Okay. A normal one and a hard one. So that at every level, at every stage, you feel the progression. You feel that now you can get more. I'm not sure where to kind of stop. How high is too high? You know what I mean? But I guess it wouldn't matter. I don't think it should matter that much. Because let's assume what do we assume? We assume 10 is the max. We assume, see, I kind of have the black market shop has pretty high stuff overall. Maybe I should lower this. Maybe not. Strength over 10. I think 10 kind of feels like a max when interacting with NPCs. When you're interacting with targets, it feels like you should be really prepped. when you're interacting with NPCs, I feel like it should be more chill. You could have like other stuff on, have like an overall like 10-10-10, make it feel good. I'm saying 10-10-10 because if you have 4 cards equipped, 2 of them would be attack based, 2 of them would be defense based with the speech tax. Comes around 10-10-10 if you're maxed out on all of those. So actually getting the black market shop, you gotta go over that 10. Convince them. Then here we have kind of what I wrote before, which is the general thing to go by for all of this. It might change in the future, not sure. Do I have a free? We do have a reset planet on the preacher, which is a freak out. Is if you have over 10 attack, you could freak them out and make them reset the entire planet. Not sure how that's gonna work. I mean, it makes sense in my mind. I don't know how people are gonna use it though. Yeah, let's just do lower kind of here. Just look at these stats and decide.
And that's kind of the issue with all of this. A lot of it's up to interpretation. It's not being very direct. Is that Phil here is talking about maintaining how Bethesda makes their games, as in Microsoft and Xbox will likely be very little involved outside of, oh, you need some money? Oh, you need some help? You want?
Alright, quickly. Let's pretend it's the first round. And let's pretend someone bought something. Right. Let's say they used $3 of their $3, buy 1 item that was like 2 and 1, 2-0-1. So 2 attack, 0 defense, 1 speech. Looking at this, 2 attack, you could do this. I mean, you could get the free shit if you're lucky. You have no more money. You have 1 speech, but not. I think these should be. I think the first round is the hardest, and it shouldn't be that hard to get. You know what I mean? To get stuff off the bat, it shouldn't be that hard. Where like you're doing. It went easier when we were doing the prototype test because I was just rolling a dice and you were getting shit for free. Here you're not getting shit for free. You need to have stuff equipped for you to get shit. So either I add more free, which I probably will, or change this to 0. Just more than 0. Which is kind of free. That's kind of free. So just maybe more free stuff. So that you always, you know. Just easier stuff here, probably. We got free intel, we got paid intel. We got stats over 4 and 3. But you gotta remember, it's not equal to 4, it's over 4, so that has to be a 5. That has to be a 4. Maybe even lower those. Not right now, but in the future. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking is these last ones kind of really lower it. I think I went a little high with these. That's fine. We still got a couple. I can change these too, because I haven't written these. I can't change this because I wrote them down and I feel like I should use them. These I haven't written down yet. That's my thoughts.
Want some testing, you want some additional staff on board, that type of stuff. They're designed to be the problem solver, the money provider. I don't think it has anything to do with continuing to make games on PlayStation. I understand how that interpretation comes across. Your interpretation, I believe, is as valid as mine, but that's how I view it, at least. So that's what Xbox had to say about things, but there is more. So GamesBeat had an article posted last night on what we can expect this week about Xbox and Bethesda, because this isn't just it. This is the announcement that the deal is done, but now we're going to get more throughout the week, such as an announcement of an event, of course, some type of showcase or something along those lines. I mean, there's a lot here to continue to unpack, so let's get into this article from none other than Jeff Grubb. Microsoft is unlikely to get into the specifics about Bethesda's upcoming projects. Details about the previously announced sci-fi role-playing game Starfield will likely come this summer, so Xbox and Bethesda won't talk about that now. Instead, they will explain what the deal means for Game Pass subscribers, which I just really iterated heavily upon for a good number of minutes as to why this was a message to Game Pass subscribers. And all that about getting to more players and whatnot was for Game Pass subscribers. But when it comes to Starfield this summer, I'm telling people, man, 2021. You heard it here first. Been saying that. I know it can be up in the air. I agree. The pandemic can really cause things to go back and forth. But I truly believe Xbox wants to get that game out the door so they can have the mega fall of Starfield and Halo Infinite.
Fun one.
Like I said, I've been telling you guys for months. You heard it here first. The article continues saying Xbox and Bethesda are also not planning to mash together their summer showcases. Both companies are preparing announcements for around E3, but they will hold them separately. Microsoft, however, may try to present them back to back as part of a 1-2 punch for Xbox. This I'm in the middle on. I'm very neutral on this because it is absolutely an excellent idea if you can literally get the boom, boom, like 1-2 punch where one day you have a ton of updates on Obsidian and Turn 10 and Compulsion Games and Coalition 343. You let them all take up the oxygen of the games industry, and then the next day you come out and say, we have this year Starfield exclusive and so on and so forth. Wolfenstein 3, is that going to be exclusive? A lot of people talk about like current series. That's one of the other debates is, hey, will established series ends up being exclusive? All I'm saying is PlayStation paid enough cash where, let's just say Final Fantasy VII, which has been around for decades, the remake of that absolutely legendary RPG ended up being exclusive and continues to be exclusive. So you can't tell me that suddenly Wolfenstein 3 can't be. I'm not saying it's going to happen. You can't tell me it can't. It's just, once again, people are being delusional, that like denying the fact that it can happen. I'm not saying it's going to, but it can. Anyway, back on track with what I was originally trying to say. It's that Xbox and Bethesda doing separate shows can be good, but Bethesda, they've really only, in my opinion, and I know some people will disagree, they've really only, I felt, had two good E3s, and that was E3 2015, where they had everything ready from Dishonored 2 to Fallout 4 and a new Elder Scrolls Online expansion and plenty more. And then 2016 was more about Fallout 4, and then on top of that you got a full look at Dishonored 2, and there was just a lot more there that I thought was of a higher quality. I believe we got the Evil Within 2 announcement then. There is that, but then afterwards, I feel like you continue to force the showcase when there wasn't enough to show off, right? We had Creation Club, we had Commander Keen, we got Fallout 76, we got these really weird, bogus announcements. Elder Scrolls Blades was another one. And I felt like Bethesda just continued their mobile initiative more and more because it also, A, filled up these showcase slots, but B, obviously it generated them a lot of money. Just look how much Fallout Shelter made them. But I just feel like, yeah, Bethesda can hold their own show, but sometimes that's not going to be consistently high quality. And it's really oftentimes buoyed by when Todd Howard comes on the stage and talks about his games, because then everything else rises with that, because there's the anticipation that at the end of the show you're going to see the big one. You know, the big one's there, where when Bethesda Game Studios isn't there, and that's no disrespect to someone like Arcane, who I think is actually kind of better than them at this point in time, it's just that they don't hold the same industry power that a Bethesda Game Studios happens to. So honestly, I'm on the side of the fence that I would love to see these two meld together. Seeing Halo Infinite have a big update and be like, that's coming this fall, and then Starfield come out and that also is coming this fall. But what this allows is for not to keep going back to Todd Howard, but really it does allow for him to still do his half-hour presentations on stage, show off his games in full like he likes to, not a quick 2-minute trailer, really explain everything out to fans who are listening, and of course be memed to death. And so I think all of that cannot happen if we have it on the Xbox stage. It would have to be hustled along because they fit so many other games in there. So this is a good and bad choice. I feel like Bethesda doesn't have enough to continuously show stuff for their showcase. This year, it could be pretty solid, right? There are some games that we are looking forward to and we want to know more about. Of course, Ghostwire Tokyo needs more updates. We're looking for Wolfenstein 3, Starfield, new Elder Scrolls Online stuff. Will we get that next gen or that brand new MMORPG from ZeniMax Online Studios, who's really just tinkered with Elder Scrolls Online since I think 2014? I mean, a lot of questions there, and I think we could get some answers. So this year, if Bethesda were to do a showcase, I think it does have some potential. Now, I was confused at first, and I want to make sure I included this in the video because I thought that since all these announcements happened today, there wouldn't be some type of showcase. Turns out that that is still occurring. So this is what Jeff originally wrote in his article last night, where he wrote, "Finally, it's still unclear whether Microsoft and Bethesda will address the question of platform exclusivity. PlayStation fans want to know if Bethesda released..."
This is kind of similar. Just because I'm thinking like Warrior, Pirate, both kind of maybe dumber. Is that really? I would actually say for Warrior, kind of dumber, maybe. Yeah, I do. And steal some money. Yeah.
Releases like Starfield, Indiana Jones, or The Elder Scrolls 6 will also launch on PlayStation 5. The Thursday presentation may provide black and white answers, or it may keep things gray, especially if plans...
Let's have any beginner, because this is not necessarily beginner. I'm kind of keeping Intel in one thing, but Intel's pretty important, I'd say. Yeah. Money is important too, though. Money is important. Getting money from NPCs is important. We need to look at the ability. Look at the balance. Yeah, kind of balance it out between attack, defense, speech, just so anyone focusing on anything kind of has the ability.
Are more nuanced and conditional from game to game. Now, in the follow-up article today, as all this news broke, he says Spencer also noted that Bethesda games will come to Game Pass this week, and his team will talk more on that soon. This is likely a reference to the March 11th presentation that I reported on earlier this week. So that presentation is still going to happen. It has yet to be announced whether, of course, as I record and edit this video, I'm sure it'll happen sometime between then. If it doesn't, I'd say expect it tomorrow, Wednesday, and we'll get more information on that. And that will be tomorrow's video. So exciting stuff on that front, but I wanted to make sure that was all clarified because I thought after seeing Jeff Grubb's report, I was like, okay, that's going to be a part of today's video, but I didn't know how extensively it would be because originally it was just like, all right, what are we going to see for this showcase? Is that where they're going to unveil all these details? And I thought today would have stomped out what was going to happen on Thursday. So just wanted to put those answers out there because if I was confused, maybe some of you out there were too. And with that, that's all we've got. So Xbox officially owns Bethesda. Exclusivity is confirmed, just we don't know how extensively that will be, and we may have to end up waiting till E3 to really figure that out. Of course, there will probably be more interviews with various members of Xbox on what exactly this exclusivity means, but unfortunately, we have to speculate to some extent, but the good thing is we know it's happening. Furthermore, if you're a Game Pass subscriber, you are absolutely winning here no matter what, whether you're on PC, Xbox, or other platforms it goes to, just saying. But with that, I leave it in your hands. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below. And a big thank you to all the patrons, all the members who continue to sign up. Thank you so much. With that, I'll talk to you very soon. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.
Peace. What's next? Better VR news with Thrill Seeker. I heard there's like I think Vildy sent me something about HTC doing a standalone. I think I'm remembering that correctly. Like a standalone Vive, or like, or was it that's not a standalone? Fuck. I swear I saw that word. I don't remember.
Hello and welcome to Tuesday News Day, your #1 resource for the entire week's worth of VR news. A sick new VR MMORPG is coming really soon to all platforms. A new VR headset from HTC.
Is this Zenith? Because I think I just got news on the alpha. I've been following that for a bit.
Is Is this the competition that we've been looking for?
Oh,
All
what'd you say? What'd you
while
say?
a new VR headset from HTC. Is this the competition
Yes.
that we've been looking
What I was
for?
talking
All
about.
while Facebook talks about Quest 3 and Quest 4 already. And cheap, widely available full body tracking on the horizon. We've got a good week of VR news. That and so much more. Let's just get right into the news. If there's one type of VR game that I really want personally,
It's an
a
MMO.
good VR MMORPG.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the stuff of dreams to have a really expansive
Yeah.
RPG that you can play with your friends in
Looking
VR.
good.
Right now, we have Orbis and a Township Tale and a couple others, but for me at least, nothing has rivaled
Orbis
the depth
is-
of something like
yeah.
Final Fantasy XIV or World of
For
Warcraft
real?
within VR. Not even close, to be honest. And it's understandable. MMOs are
Zenith.
difficult and expensive to make, but there is
Zenith.
some hope if you're
Maybe
wishing
I had a
for an MMO to
Kickstarter.
come to VR, and this is Zenith. You may have heard of it
Zenith.
before, but recently it's been hyped quite a bit,
Hey,
and the
looks good.
trailers are looking to be fantastic. From the rookie indie developer Ramen VR, Zenith is
I remember when it first got showed, and it looked good back then, so that's why I started following it.
looking promising, although it does seem that this is the developer's first large-scale release. So if I were you, I'd curb my expectations
course,
just a
of
little
course.
bit. I'm not really into overhyping games, to be honest, but on the positive side, Zenith has been approved for release on the Oculus Quest Store, PlayStation VR, and PC VR platforms, and looks to be cross-play between devices, which is a great sign for the player base.
Also, even if like something here isn't right, I'll write it down during the test. I need to remind myself of that. Like, it's okay to make mistakes now because that's what you're testing for. You can't just like try to think through the issue. You gotta test it.
A closed alpha is approaching, and it does seem that footage from the alpha will be shareable. So we'll likely get a pretty good taste of Zenith soon, with pre-orders opening on March 10th, which is also how you get access to the alpha. So we have all seen Facebook absolutely kill it with the Quest 2 lately, becoming the most popular VR headset on Steam VR, the Oculus Store, and in the consumer standalone market, all within just a few months. Impressive. Now, while it may seem like the Quest 2 is new and shiny, which it is, I think it's pretty predictable that Facebook is currently working on a Quest 3, which is confirmed. But Mark Zuckerberg recently talked about Facebook's strategy in the VR space and revealed that really, the next 2 or more VR headsets are currently being worked on. Quote, "We have product teams spun up now working on the next..."
It also doesn't, like, I feel like there's Intel, there's money. And then there's like rarer ones like items and shops. And then there's system intel, which is intel on another planet. And then there's trading. So like the core is intel and money. Right, because you're flipping those intels. You're trying to find the targets. So this kind of becomes, in the late game, like free. Right. Some of these. What I should be focusing on to do like over zero is probably the money more. Because like $5 for fucking like 8, that's for 9, that's kind of high. I would increase that. It's hard to know the balance, like should it be one less money than, I mean that's kind of 2 because technically over 3 means 4. This is kind of hard to. It should be bigger than this number, not equal to. Bigger. Which kind of fucks it up. So should it be equal? Should it be $1 for over 1 attack? Because technically you already invested at least $1. Or should $1 just be free? I think I should lower these. More money for less. But then in the end game, it's kind of free. You gotta get to that point. I'll make a couple like less. These are over or equal to, I'll make a couple less. I'll make less.
few generations of virtual reality and what Quest 3 and 4 are going to look like, end quote. But more excitingly, we may have some clues as to some features that are sort of confirmed for the next headset from Facebook, and that includes eye tracking and face tracking. Quote, one of the things I'm really excited about for future versions is getting eye tracking and face tracking in, because if you're really excited about social presence, you want to make sure the device has all the sensors to really kind of animate realistic avatars so you can communicate well, end quote. One of the main points Zuckerberg talks about is social VR and hyper-realistic avatars for the future, using face tracking and eye tracking to more accurately bring physical movements into the physical space. Right now, eye tracking just unfortunately isn't a part of consumer VR as much as it should be. The future of eye-tracked headsets not only brings better social VR due to avatars portraying eye contact and movement, but it also makes running VR applications easier due to technologies like foveated rendering, where you only render what the eye is actually focused on. All in all, eye tracking will be a positive move for consumer VR, and it seems like we can expect it or something.
For mission stuff, I'm thinking 2 and then a mission. 2 options and a mission. Which a mission is technically also an option. It's just something that isn't in the moment. These you have to complete, you have to do it in the moment. A mission is not.
Similar from Facebook's next few generations of VR headsets, whenever those may come. HTC has been really quiet lately, really ever since the Cosmos for the tracking and face and 4 are going to look like, end quote. But more excitingly, we may have some clues as to some features that are sort of confirmed for the next headset from Facebook, and that includes eye tracking and face tracking. Quote, one of the things I'm really excited about for future versions is getting eye tracking and face tracking in, because if you're really excited about social presence, you want to make sure the device has all the sensors to really kind of animate realistic avatars so you can communicate well, end quote. One of the main points Zuckerberg talks about is social VR and hyper-realistic avatars for the future, using face tracking and eye tracking to more
face tracking's good. It's
accurately bring physical movements into the physical space. Right now, eye tracking just unfortunately isn't a part of consumer VR as much as it should be. The future of eye-tracked headsets not only brings better social VR due to avatars portraying eye contact and movement, but it also makes running VR applications easier due to technologies like foveated rendering, where you only render what the eye is actually focused on. All in all, eye tracking will be a positive move for consumer VR, and it seems like we can expect it or something similar from Facebook's next few generations of VR headsets, whenever those may come. HTC has been really quiet lately, really ever since the Cosmos flop and restructuring of the entire Cosmos line. And in case you don't know, let me just give you a quick TLDR on what happened with HTC. Basically, in 2019, Oculus released the Rift S and Quest to pretty great sales. Valve released the Index, which still isn't back in stock after almost 2 years, and HTC released the Cosmos and eventually the Cosmos Elite, and it utterly flopped, and for good reason. The headset was too expensive, too late, and too incapable compared to the competition. It was just hard to make an argument for HTC's headsets when everyone else did it better for cheaper. The company restructured the Cosmos launch for Enterprise, then basically pulled out of consumer VR in the West, which I don't blame them. The Cosmos flopped and has one of the lowest user bases of any headset released by a large company, barely pulling in more than a few percent of Steam VR users. However, there is something interesting here that I don't think most people realize. A lot of people are hoping for competition for Oculus and the Quest 2 and the standalone market because right now there just isn't any, but most people didn't know that HTC actually had a standalone VR headset that could stream PC VR games wirelessly before the original Quest was even launched. Only problem was that it was $1,000 and was never marketed or poised as a consumer product. But HTC is coming back this year with a new VR headset, confirmed by Alvin Graylin, president of HTC Vive China. Graylin says HTC will release a next-generation standalone VR headset this year. This all comes from various leaks that HTC has been posting on their Twitter, starting with a little snapshot of the Vive logo on what looks to be some sort of plastic and a caption saying "It's your move." Many speculate that due to the "It's your move" statement that this picture is from a new Vive tracker, not from a new headset, which is totally possible. But regardless, a new headset is coming, even if that isn't what is pictured here. Really, the HTC Twitter has just been popping off because they also teased this picture with the caption, "Express yourself," which if you compare this to another photo from a couple years back, it's obvious HTC is dropping hints at their lip tracking module that was mentioned nearly 2 years ago at GDC 2019. So, new headset in 2020, nearly 2 years ago at GDC 2019. So, new headset in 2021 from HTC is confirmed, and a lip tracker is coming, and maybe more soon. And although it may seem really early, HTC has said themselves that this new headset coming this year will not be a direct competitor to the Quest 2, which is what I and a lot of people were hoping for. Alvin Graylin had this to say.
I don't think I would position it as a Quest competitor. I think it's our next generation standalone. We will have one this year. It is going to be a great product. I can't give any specs on it. Every perspective, it is better than what we have today, and it's probably better than what's out there from any vendor today.
That's interesting. So, according to HTC, it's going to be their best headset ever, and maybe even the best headset available. Tall words, but that's basically all we know. Really, it makes sense why HTC would say they're not directly competing with Facebook. I doubt HTC has the capability to release a headset cheap enough to really compete. But who knows? I and we may all be surprised. And I definitely want HTC to do well. It's only good for the industry to have them in it. But now it's time for a me break. Any Doom fans watching today? Well, I am happy to announce that everyone's favorite Doom game, Doom 3, is getting a VR release exclusively on PlayStation VR. Don't fret, you'll stay safe behind that screen door. Also, I couldn't help myself. Jamie from Upload VR brings up a really good point. Microsoft purchases Bethesda, and I'm eagerly awaiting the first Bethesda release under Microsoft. And it's a PlayStation VR exclusive of the most polarizing Doom game ever released. Interesting, to say the least. But let's just get right back to the news. Now, if you're into full body tracking, which I think is the true future of VR for the next 5 years or so, now is the time to be an enthusiast. New trackers are coming from Tundra Labs, like I've talked about before, which I actually have one in hand that I'm currently testing. Other vendors are working on cheaper full body tracking solutions, and there are a number of DIY solutions out there right now. But if you're on a budget, a new solution may have presented itself. And look, I thought this was kind of a meme at first, which I think it was, but it is no longer. This is very real, and this is Stonks, a cheap full body tracking solution from a group of
I've watched this. Yeah. Willie sent me this too.
Tracking solutions, and there are a number of DIY solutions out there right now. But if you're on a budget, a new solution may have presented itself. And look, I thought this was kind of a meme at first, which I think it was, but it is no longer. This is very real, and this is Stonks, a cheap full body tracking solution from a group of Swedish teenagers. So I will say right out front, these trackers definitely do not provide the accuracy of, say, Vive full body trackers. But from the demo shown, the tracking accuracy certainly looks to be better than something like Nolo or Kinect full body tracking, offering sub-centimeter tracking precision, while something like the Vive tracker is capable of sub-millimeter tracking. The difference really, though, is the price. First of all, you don't need base stations to use Stonks. It comes with its own outside tracking beacons and will sell in the basic kit for just around $80, which is significantly cheaper than the $300 to $600 that is required to buy Vive trackers and base stations if you need them. So, not gonna lie, as you should be, I've definitely been skeptical of startups before, promising big things like this for small amounts of money, but Stonks is looking to be pretty legit, and I'll definitely be testing out the tracking quality on this channel as soon as I get a unit to test for myself. While these trackers are not quite ready to be purchased, you can pre-order the DK1 version of the cookie body tracking in the description, while also supporting some very ambitious and talented VR enthusiasts that see the demand of something like full body tracking, know that the big companies are too blind to see that demand and do it themselves, which is to be commended. Right now, it doesn't look to be perfect or flawless, but I do believe that pioneers like the Stonks team are exactly what the future of VR really looks like.
What would a
Not
prisoner have?
just
You
the
just
big
have
Facebooks
like a
and Googles
thing,
telling us what we can and
and you
can't
probably
have.
want
In case
something
you're looking
it,
for a new VR chat avatar that isn't quite the usual VR chat troll avatar or anime related avatar, I may have something for you. A new service called Ready Player Me allows you to create an avatar either through personalizing traits traits or via a selfie from a camera. Pick where you want to build the
I saw
avatar
this too,
for a new
man.
VR. Just the big Facebooks and Googles telling us that doesn't. While these trackers are not quite ready to be purchased, you can pre-order the DK1 version of the cookie body tracking in the description, while also supporting some very ambitious and talented VR enthusiasts that see the demand of something like full body tracking, know that the big companies are too blind to see that demand and do it themselves, which is to be commended. Right now, it doesn't look to be perfect or flawless, but I do believe that pioneers like the Stonks team are exactly what the future of VR really looks like. Not just the big Facebooks and Googles telling us what we can and can't have. In case you're looking for a new VR chat avatar that isn't quite the usual VR chat troll avatar or anime related avatar, I may have something for you. A new service called Ready Player Me allows you to create an avatar either through personalizing traits or via a selfie from a camera. Pick where you want to build the avatar or which application you want to use it in, like VR chat, then customize your avatar. Takes a lot of the work out of having something a little more personalized for a social VR app. Not gonna lie, this avatar style isn't my favorite. I already have avatars that I personally use that I like a lot, but I know a lot of people are looking for ways to stand out and feel like an individual online. So here's one way that you can do it. Taffy is another similar service offered that I have used before, but Ready Player Me is the newest on the block. So if you're interested, you should definitely check it out. A new Star Wars game, Star Wars Pinball, is coming to all VR headsets just next month on the Quest Store, PSVR, and Steam. Although it should be known that this game isn't all new, just new to VR. Star Wars Pinball from developer Zen Studios has been available on mobile, PC, and various consoles since 2013, but it's just now getting
Yeah, that's cool. Being like in a pinball machine.
a VR adaptation. There are tons
If I could be like at the front of a pinball machine as a little man, hidden shit, like hidden button, that'd be cool.
of tables already in the game from episode 4 to the Mandalorian, so all in all, it looks like a pretty fun and decent little game if you're into Star Wars or pinball. I personally have never played pinball in VR, so it'll be interesting to see how it feels when the game does come out. But now it's time for question of the week from Ralsei. Hopefully I said that right. Do you ever edit videos or check VR news in your VR headset? If so, how does it compare to browsing on a flat screen? And no. Honestly, I always kind of do things last minute, which means I try and work as fast as possible. Right now, my workflow with the VR headset for editing is just slower than without. I have tried it before and it didn't last for long, so it makes sense just to edit on a flat screen. Although, as I experiment with 360 video, editing in VR becomes far more appealing. I do think that one day I will completely work within a VR headset, just that day is not today. And that's question of the week. Don't forget to leave your own below, I may just answer yours next. And I will be streaming after this video on Twitch, so come on by, I'd love to see you there. Also, join up in my Discord server for the best VR community on the planet with giveaways, meetups, and more. I want to thank all of my Patreon supporters, especially my Omegas like Anders, Lucid VR, Mud King, Caution Ramen, I'm Naku, Tomali, CPC, KR, That Brock Guy,
Ooh, we got
Hey there,
Sausage
folks,
Man.
and welcome back.
Again?
Yes. This episode, I thought, for a change, we'd actually try to make a serious sausage. So the plan here is to, mix pork and kimchi. And if you've never had kimchi before, get ready to fart a hole in your sheets. It's the kimchi sausage. And the first thing we're gonna do is cube up our sausage meat. You know, that's looking pretty good right there. I think we're on our way to making some pretty impressive sausages. Today we're gunning for a 5 out of 5.
I was just thinking what these missions would be. An escaped prisoner, I think, would want you to save one of their friends. Save criminal friend. Who would have the black market? 'Cause I'm thinking that should be like a mission thing. Probably should be a thing for here. Oh, but that's already like, I feel like that's More than one black market's kind of. And you need over. Really, that's really end game, but that helps you out even more. Or that, I guess that could give you just. It does help you out a lot, though. I don't know. We'll see. The Zealot, bring NPC alive. The off-duty officer. The off-duty officer. Federal spy. Bring criminal alive. The off-duty officer. Save NPC. I guess also bring NPC. This could be any of this, could be specific. And then the hidden revolutionary would be saves. Okay. Okay. Let me get that. So revolutionary. I do want to focus on this. The revolutionary would want any revolutionary, while the criminal would want a specific criminal. Maybe it should be the other way around. Where he wants someone dead. He wants someone specifically alive, he wants someone specifically dead. So bring, I don't know, who'd be a tough one, like the king of diamonds. Bring any low on attack, any spade. I think one of them could be like about items, but I don't know. Like that should be more specified in here. I don't need anything like that right now. Off-duty officer's trying to save someone, so like let's say the 2 of the queen. No, NPC. Yeah, I guess like the 2 of diamonds or something. The 2 of hearts. Which is a card, I'm pretty sure. The Federal Spy. And let's say Revolutionaries is like any defensive one. For now, we don't really have a alive or dead. For now. Because for now we don't have target encounters. Which should I work on that today? I could think about it today. I could think about it. We'll do that. Wants a specific criminal, so let's say like the Jack of... Let's say the Jack of clubs. Well, let's say the King of clubs. I mean, it's harder. King of clubs. Let's say he wants the leader of the revolutionaries alive. Makes sense. So no hearts. Could be like any Jack. Dude. And then what's the prize? Let's do, okay, if you bring any, what's I'm looking for the word. Can I? Assisting factions. I think infamy should be a big thing. Where you get more infamy. The thing with infamy is if you bring a criminal, if you bring a specific criminal, then I feel like you should get more infamy than what they were giving you. The thing is, in the actual game, it's probably going to be more specified or faction based. So it doesn't matter if the person's on the wanted board. Here, technically, let's say the King of Diamonds isn't on the wanted board, but you're told to get him, and if he's on the board, you go get him. You don't know what his infamy is. You don't, technically in the real game, know if he's even in the wanted list. So how do you know what +1 infamy is to him? So should it be a set number of infamy if you know... I mean, I guess in the actual game you would know how much they're worth. So you would just say the number. If it's any... If it's any, then it maybe should also be a set number. Oh. So what am I thinking through now? Target encounters. In the final game, or not target, mission. Encounter mission. Specified. Specified someone if someone is meant to capture but their infamy how should I say this? Brain not working, brain not working. Oh. What do I say? In the final game, since we know who has how much infamy, even if they're not in the wanted deck, then it's easier to give more or less for specific. Now it's making me want to play Zelda, god damn it. It's making me want to play Zelda. Actually, what I did do today is I got the last achievement I wanted in the South Park Fractured Butthole. Haha. After like a month of... I haven't played it for like a week, but I played it for like 2 weeks. Fun game. Not as good as the first, in my opinion. Could have been better. Kind of dragged on. Kind of not enough variety. First one was an RPG, so same thing with this. It's like items change, like blah blah blah. A little bit more interesting there. I mean, you kind of choose you're like superheroes, so you choose your powers. But once you have like a good strat and like the best boosts and stuff, you kind of just stick with it, and it's kind of all samey. So I played the DLC and I stuck with what they gave me. Just so it's not like the rest of the game. You know, use the new shit. And then I fought Morgan Freeman today and I won. Using a very cheesy strat. But I got the achievement and I'm happy. And then I played Loop Hero, which is really fucking cool. I played the demo. And that was cool. I doubt I'm gonna buy it though. Maybe in the future. And whistling in my ear, bruh. And I downloaded Hollow Knight. I did buy it a while ago. I never played it. I'm thinking of playing it. So yeah, what I want to say. Not on stream though. Again, my relationship with gaming on stream is something I wanted to change over the last 3 years. Wasn't feeling it. This is more what I'm comfortable streaming. And I just work. You know, thinking through ideas. If anyone's, you know, wants to say something in chat, you know, like talk back and stuff. Just chill. I feel like when I'm doing a game, I can't focus on both. With this, I don't have to like fully focus unless I'm thinking through an idea. But yeah. I think that comes across well. So the point here that I'm making is, if I know bring any bebe, then it's plus. Since I know for the prototype. Since prototype only has 4 to 12 specific bounties and the rest NPCs, the prototype will have a different format for how it is added. Although that's kind of The thing is, to know someone's faction, they have to be in. Okay, that's another thing. To know someone's faction, you would technically need to see their wanted on the board first. Cannot zoom. Which I think is an important. I think that's a really important point. Like, if you know someone's in the revolutionaries, but their thing isn't on the board, like you can't go after them. You can't. That's prior knowledge. That's metagaming. That's getting knowledge from outside of the game. You're fucking with the rules, brother. Fucking with the rules, brother. You know, bold the things that you want to make sure you know for future reference. When you're writing notes like this, it's very easy to go back to old notes and just get lost and waste your time reading a bunch of dumb shit you wrote that doesn't matter. So bolding information kind of puts you in the right spots of ideas. That's what I learned. You should probably also colorize. I don't. I think it's something I should be doing more of, but yeah. Okay, so that means, again, back to this. This means that if you bring K of Diamonds and the king is worth 3 points, as we see here, 3 points, then it's easy to say infamy 4p. Technically, you don't get his one poster. That's kind of the point. Is the one poster is kind of gone. You know, so you don't get the 3 points, but instead you get 4 points. Instances, if a mission is to capture someone and player is successful, then the wanted is void. Player does not get wanted infamy. Instead gets how much infamy is listed on the mission reward. Some instances, if a mission glitching out, bitch. Come on. I think this should actually be. God damn it, I'm saving too much in this document. It's like 30 pages long. I think this should be the first thing. Okay, come on, game, come on, game. Okay. Yeah. Again, going back. This would be 4p instead of the bounty poster. Because we know the king is 3p. But now, if we're going for general spades, then it would be infamy +1, right? Actually, 5p. +1. Ooh, any spade also means NPCs though. And that's difficult. So if it's any spade, here you can actually lose. Here you can lose infamy if you, like, let's say bring the king. Or even the queen. So I'm thinking actually valuing this at 2p. So if Jack is worth 1 point, Queen is worth 2 points, King is worth 3 points, then this would be equivalent to a Queen even if you brought an NPC, which is pretty good. While this, you don't actually get the King. But you do get this, which is 1 extra. So instead of bringing the King to the system center, you bring it to him. I mean, for now, let's do infamy, because I'm thinking, like, what would be another reward? this is also a any this would actually be not any, but instead of J, B, or K. We do want a criminal, technically, not an NPC. I think this should be 1 then if it's an NPC. Which is still like 1 point is 1 point. Like that's nothing to. That could be the difference between 2 players winning. I think that should be, infamy should be the point of missions. That should be like a core thing you get if that's what infamy. Since infamy is used for final scoring, it is technically what drives players the most. So like players will want to do missions. Players will want to do missions just to get the extra bit of infamy. Which I mean, yeah, that's the point. Bring a specific person to the king is harder. I mean, the 2 of hearts isn't that hard, so I think it would. Bring the king, also 5. Bring any. Now here is the +1. Here's the +1. So if you get a jack, it'd be 2. If we get a queen, it'd be 3. If we get a king, it'd be 5. 4. Oh. That's a lot. King diamonds is the hardest one, right? Technically. Technically. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be 5. This one would be 4. This one would be... No. Yeah, +1. +1 if any J, E, K. Number if NPC. Number if specific bounty. Just to remember, that's what I'm doing. Yeah. Okay. I think that's good. And now, any other prizes other than infamy? Maybe not for now. I think actually for now, no. It's just like an alternate person to give. Instead of going to System Center, you're targeting them. So I could do actually. Okay. Okay, that's good. Yep. So no targets. Let's think this through. I don't know if I'm gonna do the test today because let's see if we put these in right now, these civilian encounters, then that's cool because that tells us like how you need to min-max your equipped cards. Cool. But our missions have dead or alive, is that it will be an important part. If we do dead or alive, then and technically only one of them is just dead. I really don't have to do that right now. But let's think this through. If we do have to, I'm just shuffling cards. If we do have to do that, then you would have to do target encounters, which have options of killing or not, which we do have to eventually do. You would also have the time limit of keeping someone in the brig. You would maybe also have different infamy results, which I could do. Okay, let's write that. When dead or alive is implemented, remember to add, and it's kill or capture in target counters. What did I just say? Kill or capture. Infamy reward changes for dead or alive bounties. Brig death. Brig death and away. Brig death, how many rounds and a way to prevent it. Right. Consumables technically aren't a thing yet, but could pretty easily be implemented. I kind of just went all out with the card. Yeah. This is V2. And I kind of just added a lot. Have I ever written down the logic behind this? I don't think so. Just kind of did it. Basically, did I not write it down? I wrote this down, I don't think I explained it either. No, I don't think I wrote it down. This was after the test. Basically the idea is like, there needs to be balance. Or the potential of balance, I think, is a good way to explain that. So, by allowing there to be 5 attack, or even more attack, also 4, you know, like, the ability for everyone to get enough. Then this speech tax artificially increases item prices. I like these words I'm saying right now. Speech tax artificially increases item prices. Having 4, 5, 8 items in the deck allows for possible balance. Not necessarily not strict balance. There's a difference. If luck presents itself, then there's the possibility that everyone will get an equal amount of everything. It is a lot of cards though. I think it's like -4, -1, 51 cards. And that's without the consumables here. So definitely a lot. I need to think that through. And then really the max price. And this is what, yeah, without the 3, this is only 2. So these are kind of all possibilities. I was writing them out. Right out of paper. And out of paper pieces. Yes, the possibility of balance, not necessarily. Maybe not strict balance. What am I trying to say? I don't know. I know what I'm trying to say. Not definitive. Not. What's this description of definite? Not vague or doubtful. Which possible balance is vague or doubtful, but it's possible. Do some card tricks. I used to know how to do card tricks. could do target encounters right now. It'd also just be randomly generated numbers, technically. Actually, no, it wouldn't even be hard. Actually, no, it wouldn't. Because that would actually be based on target numbers. So it would be more just like A over target. Mogę się wysikać? Ej! Mogę się wysikać? Sorry about that. Quick piss break because I heard someone's going to the washroom. And every time I stream, someone goes into the washroom and I can't piss. It makes me mad because I want to piss. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we could do target encounter. Let's just fucking do it. Let's just do it right now. Ding. Oh, right. I forgot that it also is based on dice rolls. I forgot about a lot of the core stuff I made for this game. Yes. Okay. Let's go through the first idea and then I'll start building again. So again, we got this. And with, instead of titles, it's emotion. Which is job. While here title is emotion. So basically you would do, let's say, terrified. go back to. Nope. And here, generally attack better than defense is a kill. Defense over attack is capture. And then I went into lore. Lore. Lore is what killed me. Yeah, we were looking at civilian, and now let's look at what I wrote for target. Turn encounters, roll aside, but you can still fail a capture or kill, which makes your roll until something happens. Sure. There's always a way out. I could see that. Kill captioners shouldn't always follow blah blah blah, because then you can prep exactly for the situation, include varied and difficult encounters. Sure. Again, because we're going against a target, we're assuming you have prepared for that target. We're assuming your stats are larger. This kind of messes with the idea though, because it's like, well, it's not just your attack versus their attack. It could actually be your defense over their attack, depending on what you want to do. You're actually prepping for the situation, for the outcome that you want, instead of prepping players are prepping for the outcome they want instead of simply A over player attack over target. Meaning if they want to capture, they should assume they should rep E. They should prep defense instead of A. Yes. Evading and then escaping. This is where the dice roll balancing comes in, and this is also a bit of a pain. Bit of a pain. This was probably the best day of work right here. I think this stuff is really important. Yeah, from here to here. I understand what this little chart is telling me. Yeah. Right, so it's not only scenarios that you pick. Again, we just got to go through it to understand it. Terrified. Scenario 1 is you roll. Let's say let's copy actually what I have there as there as an example previously. Let's do 222 actually. Let's do 1 to 2 is capture. If D is greater than target A. This is their like emotional state. I just want to clear that up. 3 to 4 is kill, where A is greater than target D. But you also get more. You also get... This is a lot of info here. Because not only does it have the if statement, but it also has a reward on top of that, possibly. Okay. I like this setup though. It's a lot of info. Five to 6 is evade. Should there be extra little like prizes? Like not prizes, but what I'm saying, like the rewards where if you do get to capture someone, you actually get a little bit of money and stuff too. Does that incentivize? Or does it just not? Is it too much? I think it's too much. Because infamy is a given. So I think little bonuses are nice. Although something like Hamhawk's Pitchfork, which is a kind of a mission reward. I mean, it is, yeah, it's kind of a mission reward, not necessarily, because it would be specified on the wanted instead of on a mission. A little weird. There's like a couple of different ways to get stuff. So I'm not sure if I need to cut down on that. Okay. As I'm gonna think this through, let's continue watching the spicy kimchi. Totally paused and then just didn't continue that. So.
It's the kimchi sausage! And the first thing we're gonna do is cube up our sausage meat. You know, that's looking pretty good right there. I think we're on our way to making some pretty impressive sausages. Today we're gunning for a 5 out of 5. Soy sausage, never heard a single recipe in my life. And of course, sesame oil will make any recipe taste like an instant 5. No, use it.
Yummy. Ooh, that's like getting
What in God's
stuck
name
in
is
there.
going
What the
on
fuck?
with the grinder?
It's so smooth.
Soy un pendedor. I'm a sausage baby, so why don't you cook me?
A Loser by Beck. Good song.
In 3, 2, 1. Let's sausage.
God damn. That's a long one.
Oh, just the perfect amount of casing. Will it blow? It blew right into my hand.
Jesus.
Which reminds me of my 1-mark Ruffalos. You know what? These actually look good enough to link. And what a happy sausage
Oh,
family
that's
this
nice.
turned out to be.
Hopefully they don't pop.
All right, it's time to make the sausage.
One of the nicest sausages he's made. Ooh,
There are some things happening in this pan.
what the fuck, dude?
All right, let's cut one of these sugar dumplings open and see how we did. That looks like a pretty tasty sausage. All right, let's go over the tasting table and taste.
Maybe the nicest looking sausage he's made, damn.
You know, I wish that there was a YouTube channel with a guy that makes sausage out of anything and everything, maybe with a mustache and a voice like Peter Griffin, but sadly no such YouTube channel exists.
Oh, wow. He gave a shout out but didn't give a shout out. That's kind of hilarious.
Everything. You know, I wish that there
Bro,
was
I didn't give a shout out. That's so sick.
a guy that makes sausage out of anything and everything, maybe with a mustache and a voice like Peter Griffin, but sadly no such YouTube channel exists.
Binging with Babish. I used to watch him a lot. Oh, damn. Oh,
You
God.
know, let's get on with tasting this sausage.
YouTube channel.
Showing off the hair. I love it. Mmm. Luscious
You know,
locks.
let's get on with tasting this sausage. So here we go.
Looking good, Mr. Sauce.
It is incredible. The
Beautiful.
crunchiness of the kimchi is still there. It's the perfect consistency of a sausage. It's got a good spice to it. So I'm gonna have to give this sausage here a 5 out of 5.
I think it's like the look of it, the taste, the consistency. Yeah, man.
Quig, start the reactor.
Or-
Hey there, folks, and
Ooh, that's an older one. Yeah, it was good. It was really good. Minute call out video from a dude I watch is the fish dude. This guy. It's calm ass music. Let's watch this video first, his update, and then we'll watch anything. Ooh, I do want to watch this. This one has subtitles, so I can't listen to it. I want to work on this thing. I don't want to take a break because I feel like this isn't coming to me. I might do this. I think I laid out the capture, and then it would be get until you do this. Get this. So the idea would be Pepe colon Pepe. Instead here I do it did, colon it did, and it feels like that's the prize, well 1 to 2 captures either way. No, so it would actually be like this. The rolling numbers throw this off a bit. Or let's do capture, or maybe another. And then what, like B2, what was it? Kill item. 5 to 6 is evade. I think that's fine. That's a fine way of doing that. It's fine. I don't know if terrified is the right thing. Let's imagine. What they're doing when caught. What emotion. Doing. What are they doing? Yeah, I don't want to do it with scenario. I feel like that's a lot. As we can see here, like I did with this chart, 2 to 4, like, I would say 2 to 3, 4 is very rare. 4 is pretty rare. Yeah, can't do. Yeah, so 4 is pretty rare. So I think 3's in terms of consistency. I don't know, terrified. What's another? I think brash is better for actually. Brash. Like what emotion? It's kind of like when they're at the bar, you slam as a bounty hunter, you slam your hand on the table and look at them. What are they feeling? And depending on their emotion in the moment, how would they react? And that's kind of how would they react, and then how would you react depending on your preparation. That's the logic I'm going through with here. This might take a bit more thinking. I think this I can't randomize as much. I kind of have to think about it. Let's say capture. You could talk yourself out of it with speech. You could go mano a mano with with attack. Maybe defense over defense in a different context. But basically capture, kill, evade. Escape is very rare. Escape will be very rare. Okay, I should also have this on right here. Yeah, there we go. Capture, kill, evade, escape. There we go. I'm prepped. Why do I have berserk up? I shouldn't have berserk. These are main, and then possibly items. Not really an item, and I guess. feel like intel shouldn't be that rare. I feel like intel's like a normal thing as a bounty hunter looking for people. Especially with how much resetting there is, I feel like intel's important. Yes, snacky. I need different tests in my mouth. So, okay, let's quickly do another example. Crazed. Confused. Confused seems easy. Confused? Confused, they can lash out. I think evading should be at least one option. The chase is kind of interesting to me. So depending on their like terrified could have like 4 or even 3 to 6 evade. Right, like 1, 2, and then 3 to 6 evade. Because they just get the fuck out of there. And you can't catch them. Again, your speed stat is kind of based on your dice roll, interestingly enough. Confused, I think evade is possible. And I think no, not dude, no. Stop. Capture is you talk them out of it, so your speech is higher than their speech. Here, kill, because I do think you should have the option to kill them, is just saying, like, your attack is greater than their attack. Again, like, even though this is the norm, your defense being greater than their attack, just because you're like, they're hitting you, but then you're not aggressive about it, but you still capture them. You still get around them. While here, they might be blocking and you're actually intending to kill. Here I think if they'd be confused, they would attack back, kind of idea. With Terrified, they're definitely evading a lot. I definitely think this should select it here. I don't know what the bonus is. I'll have to think about that later. And then I don't know how many I could do, like If there's right now, if there's 12, well, I can do 10. I can do 10. So let's actually go. Let's do the brash, confused, terrified, crazed, depressed. Gleeful's a little weird. Slick is a good one. Drunk. And I think I need 2 more. Or 3 more. Manipulative. Seductive. I have crazed, I do. Anxious and terrified is kind of... Gleeful's a weird one. They'd be happy to see you. Also, usually, I feel like speech would go against speech. Speech can't really go against attack. Unless you talk yourself, you talk yourself out of them attacking you, or you talk yourself out of them defending. Your attack is greater than them talking. Like, I don't know. I'd have to think of Oh, I didn't realize that the location changes and yeah, there are a couple locations. No daytime in this thing. It's kind of sucky. We had the palm tree, now we have Hyrule, not Hyrule Castle, fucking the temple. Is it the Temple of Time? I like the beach though. The beach has like the different the day, evening, night, morning, night. Yeah. All right, then yeah, let's watch. I see I'm not reading what's. We gotta eat a whole pellet now. I don't remember this bit. Meatball's actually mailing this guy. The shrimp. I want to see the shrimp boys. Boomster was born. Oh, does he have kids now? Kartoffel. I think evading is an interesting thing. I'm keeping it. I think a lot of these would be just 2, but I do like the option of evade. Like I said. Any target encounter. It gives players a cat and mouse relationship. I think it's fun. Bounties. Adds lore. Adds personal lore. Slick, I think, also means very good at evading. Monkey. Bullpuck. Did listen to this?
Here in the Kurzgesagt Labs, we only work on the most important scientific problems like, what if we nuke stuff? Or how about we make this elephant explode? Or who could forget, look at this thing, it's really big. Continuing this proud tradition, let's explore the scientific mystery of what would happen to you if Earth suddenly turned into gold. The Midas Apocalypse, based on the ancient tale of King Midas, who was cursed so everything he touched turned into gold. Before we can explore this scenario with science, we'll first define the premise. Midas's curse is a very special phenomenon called magic, which allows us to modify physics. So what happens when Midas touches something and it turns to gold?
Magic. Ooh. Oh, I feel like I just pulled something. Fuck.
An atom of gold has 79 protons and 118 neutrons in its nucleus. The electric force of the protons on the electrons around them shapes the atom and gives gold its chemical properties, like that it doesn't rust and that it's kind of shiny and bendy. So, to make not gold into gold, we have to change atoms. Let's say Midas touches a duck. All the light elements like hydrogen, carbon and oxygen gain electrons and protons and neutrons to become gold. Not only is the duck suddenly 33 times more massive, it's also much too dense. The gold atoms are far closer together than they like and repel each other violently, causing the golden duck to explode with the energy of half a ton of TNT, leaving only gold dust and a very dead Midas. This is clearly not a very good way for Midas's power to work. So what if it...
I just realized, like, you know, a lot of D's and A's. Especially in kill, a lot of A's. I think it's good to know that A is mostly kill. Good to know. Let me stack the D's a little, stack the S's a little. If you don't care, it doesn't matter, stack them A's. Then I realized like not a lot of S's, but then I looked at the rest of this and I feel like, yeah, these are very S-based.
Instead, Midas's power uses the atoms that are already present.
I think I'm actually not gonna add items for the first, or like prizes first. Additional prizes for capture kill not added in prototype.
And simply rearranges all particles in the matter he touches into gold. No matter is created or destroyed, instead atoms dissolve and the protons, neutrons and electrons are reassembled to make gold. However, gold is very dense, about 20 times denser than a duck. Without adding any matter, the gold duck would be a very awkward kind of foamy gold with lots of tiny microscopic gaps. This is funky and doesn't explode, which is progress. Now that we've established a sort of magic that works, what would happen if Midas stumbles? What if he touches Earth itself? Let's freeze time for just a moment and rearrange all the matter in the Earth. Just like the duck, the Earth is now solid gold, but with many tiny atomic scale gaps. While these gaps weren't a huge deal for the duck, they're a big problem for the Earth. A spongy planet is not a thing that can exist, as gravity compresses Earth, squeezing it together to close up the gaps. As a result, the Earth contracts.
Basically, to kill someone, you can, like, using speech or defensive stuff to kill someone is a little feels weird to use anything to use S or D to kill. So most are A. Players can avoid killing by simply failing to kill until they roll a capture. This is a question. Should bounties evade once a roll fails or when specified? I think that's an important distinction. I am adding evade, but it could just be like, you fail the roll, you fail, or something happens. There, more think of more possible consequences. Players when failing kill / kill. I think that's something Nick was talking about. More intricate consequences, which is a little hard. I think the consequence is the planet resetting. There could be a consequence where you lose money. There could be a consequence where you lose an item, which would suck. Lose item, money, planet reset, lose money, item, lose item, money, stuck a turn, reroll, evade, reroll.
Shrinking to 2/3 of its radius. If you're standing on Earth's surface, you'll suddenly find yourself in freefall, like on a roller coaster, as the ground sinks away beneath you. But since the ground is falling too, it doesn't move away from you. It feels like someone turned off gravity, and you and everything else would begin to float. But the ride doesn't last forever. It takes only 10 minutes for everything to crash down, and a weird 10 minutes it is indeed. And then, as abruptly as it started, it stops. The collapsing Earth has reached its desired size, and gravity is suddenly turned back on for you. Hopefully you enjoyed your minutes of floating, because the ground and you with it crash into the planet at 30,000 kilometers an hour, making your body splatter like a water balloon as it hits. In one instant, basically all of humanity gets smashed into red puddles. This is only the start of our problems though, since Earth imploded supersonically. The kinetic energy of the implosion is basically equivalent to detonating a planet made of TNT. Crushed together under incredible forces, Earth's core reaches 1,000,000 degrees Celsius, a temperature closer to the core of a star than anything we're used to finding on Earth. As the Earth crashes into itself, it generates an enormously powerful shockwave which plows upwards, catapulting the atmosphere up and off. The Earth's surface temperature reaches hundreds of thousands of degrees, and everything on it is instantly vaporized to a fluffy plasma cloud that starts to expand, but not by much. Many of the atoms that may have been new get mixed into this cloud, while others boil off, escaping from the atmosphere. The golden plasma outshines the sun, while the enormous radiation lifts tons of material off into space. Over the coming days, the plasma cloud cools and eventually freezes into a shiny little golden ball. Okay.
Because all this is randomized, like manipulative isn't a single character, it's any character. So let's say we get a really character that doesn't talk well, that they're trying to act manipulative. You talking them into being captured makes sense. They're really good at talking, and you still do that, and that means you're really good. Cool. But they kill and use something other than A just feels weird. I need to think about this. Think about
Maybe this type of magic doesn't work. So if replacing atoms made the Earth so overdense that it exploded, and disassembling and reassembling atoms made the Earth so underdense that it imploded, there must be a sweet spot where the Earth
here
does.
I could see you going against their speech, not using speech. So like they're being seductive, like what? Use that stealth, use that defensiveness. You know, like that makes sense. Kill. Feels weird here. Sometimes it's like, why would you kill someone who's acting this way? But I guess, you know, go with your tongue. It definitely feels like there should be one more thing that doesn't do, because I feel like this is all the same. And I don't know if that's a good thing or. It feels like evade should also have a. For now, I'll leave it. I'll leave it like that. Oh, I guess I'm gonna write these out later. Copper hasn't come. It's been 2 hours 30. I feel like I'm done for today. Could do some other stuff just at the end. You know what I want to do? I want to find my No Man's Sky screenshot. Actually, also. And just paste it in here. Beep, 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 beep. What was I doing?
Neither. What if Midas's power is such that an object is suddenly replaced by an object with the same volume made from solid gold? That magic is a little bit more magic and cuts a few extra corners, but let's see where this leads us. So, Midas stumbles again. Even though our new pure gold Earth is not expanding or contracting, it's suddenly much more massive. The density of gold is 3.5 times greater than the Earth, meaning the Earth is going to get 3.5 times more massive. For starters, everyone now has to contend with surface gravity that is more than 3 times stronger. So if you're not a champion weightlifter who's used to carrying around a few times your body weight on your shoulders, you're probably going to be slammed to the ground by your own weight. Depending on where you were when Earth turned into gold, this alone could seriously hurt or even kill you. Trees and artificial structures collapse under stress they were never meant to sustain, while birds and planes and all things that were able to fly or float splash to the ground all around you. And you're not the only thing weighed down by the greater gravity. The weight of the atmosphere and also atmospheric pressure nearly quadruples, which is a bad thing if you like living. On its own, this won't kill you. Scuba divers can comfortably breathe air at these pressures for a while, but unfortunately squeezing the atmosphere this much raises its temperature to 150 degrees Celsius, which is like the insides of an oven. The entire Earth's surface bakes, roasting anything and everything. There is no escape. Gold may be a metal, but it's about 3 times weaker than steel and also very malleable, which makes it very bad mountain material. The tallest mountains that can be supported are now only about 2 kilometers high, so whole ranges compress as their own weight basically crushes their base. It's hard to say what happens here. We're probably in for giant earthquakes and landslides as the planet is squeezed into a new shape. And it's not just mountain ranges, the differences between the continents and the ocean floor level out, causing the ocean basins to overflow, sending massive tidal waves over the Earth's surface. What remains is a planet made of gold, entirely covered by an ocean 3 kilometers deep, a super hot atmosphere, and a lot of dead people. Okay, there may be a lesson to take away here, but we're not sure what it is. We did all the maths though. It's in our sources document if you want to take a look. If you learned anything in this video, let us know what it was. So, as you might know, the things we sell in our shop are the reason we're able to publish videos for free. But it's way more than that for us. Here's a short story and a making of. A while ago, we posted this image on social media just to post something nice looking. Immediately, a lot of people were quite upset about it because it was wrong, and you guys take what we put out that seriously. Just to put a making of. A while ago, we posted this image on social.
Okay, I see. That's a cool picture. Like a tree, a genealogy tree, but it isn't accurate. We've got human, monkey, bipedal, or like reptile, fish, whale. Is this mammal? Snail to octopus? What is butterfly? Tyrannosaurus to birds. Yeah, what do people have to say? Some kind of fungi. Amphibians.
Social media.
Platypus.
Just to post something nice looking. Immediately, a lot of people were quite upset about it because it was wrong, and you guys take what we put out that seriously. So we deleted it and contacted experts to make something new and better. We spent hundreds of hours on research and illustration and created this new extensive...
Damn. That's cool. I do like the simplified version. If it's accurate, that's dope.
Visualization of this new extensive map of evolution. A new
Very cool.
visualization of the relationships between living things that
I
didn't
kind
exist
of
before.
love this.
And while visualization of the
I kind of want. This is cool. Yops.
relationship
That's really cool.
between living things that didn't exist before.
I want to see the hyena. Mongooses, cats, tigers, hyenas. Very cool.
Didn't exist before. And while this was obviously a lot of work and stress, it sort of exemplifies why working on this channel is so satisfying. Because you people care.
Selected milestones and element. Oh, this is a really sick. Where's human? There we are. Oh, really cool. They make a lot of cool shit, but this is very cool.
And this makes us work harder.
Ooh.
And
These are cool. I got my map. Got my own map right behind me, but Turing table would be cool too. Human body, I feel like this would be just for like everyday shit. What muscle hurts? The evolution map.
and learn things we didn't know before. So, thank you for supporting our crazy ideas and our sometimes crazy merch.
Oh, nice.
Because of you, we can continue to release our videos for free for everyone and drop hundreds of hours into new
That's
content.
the only reason they made a video is to make the golden thing.
We are super grateful for that. You can check out the new evolution poster, among many other things made with love, in our shop.
Did they increase the
Other
price?
things made with love in our. You can check out the new evolution poster, among many other.
What, did they hide it? No.
Many other things made with love in our shop.
I want to see their shop. I want to see how much it costs. How much do I expect for it to cost? A poster? Pretty big poster, probably. Probably $50. I'm assuming. Oh, dude, that's. It just feels like pretty big poster. That's a really cool poster. It's very cool. And if it's like actually accurate, like they said, then that'd be sick. Then. Are they all 16? I'd pay 16 bucks for that. Dude, educational posters are. Muscle, urinary, PP in the PV, lymph node. Ooh. Definitely something you don't think about is a lymph node. Pretty important. Endocrine. The testes, urinary, digestive, nervous system. I feel like that. I kind of like looking at this. I feel like there isn't. Like there should be more listed. I don't know why I feel that way. It like doesn't feel like there's enough words. Or they just did a good job compacting. Cool, cool. Yeah, these are all 16 USD. $20. I mean, that's half of what I assumed. Oh, that's cool. I paid $20 for it. What does it say? Okay, it says the name on top, and then the like it says magnets. Can't really read any of those. Color TV tubes, fluorescent lamps. That's cool. I don't know how much I would use this, but where's it? The elusive 116 element 1 Moscow or 115 Moscovium. See, that one you actually have to update a bit. I like this. I like how the colors are. Oh, it shows like trees and stuff. That's cool. Those types of trees and general animals. Fun. This would be good. Be a great present for. No, just names of countries though. No, like capitals or anything, which is fine. It's a very simplified, visually nice map. Detailed. I like the temperatures. You could see the temperatures. What? Oh, I like that because it's the mountain range. Yeah, because the Himalayas here. That's cool. That's cool. Okay, it shows mountain ranges too. I like that. One. Yeah, awesome. Might pick that up in the future. As a concept, I like that a lot, and I think visually it's colorful and nice. I mean, yeah, fantastic. Oh, these are sick. Oh, I would fucking have these all over. This is very simplistic. Just the minimalist design of it and the nice colors. Ooh, this is under the sea. Under the sea. Where's what? The sun is huge. What a great. That's a great poster. Oh my, see the minimalism of it, but it's such a great idea. You versus the universe. Whoa. What even? Time in years? 500,000 years. You are here. But hey, putting an existential crisis on a poster, what a great idea. Duelist thing. Bacteriophage. Stuff like this. I mean, this is interesting, but like, I wouldn't have a. Bacteria as a poster feels too niche. While like a chart of evolution or like fishies, space stuff, a stellar engine, like, well, this is great lore stuff. Oh, are these all different thrusters? Is this a video they have? I need to look into this. Wait a minute. What's it called? Stellar engines? I just Stellar engines. Okay, I'm gonna put you in. They do have a lot of good space videos, but this one might be more sci-fi or, well, yeah, sci-fi. Yeah. I got cute little pins. And then they got, oh, sold out already. God damn. Well, they got the number on it too. Only 1,000. Bro, your guys' shit gets millions of views. It sells so many of those, bro. But yeah, cool. Shooting the player across space. Okay, am I done here? I was supposed to. This is. Come on. I'm glitching. Ooh. Right, and then I was supposed to. Or rather, this. Yeah. Is he talking this? I don't remember.
Hey, hi, thanks for joining me in the second devlog. I'm making a third-person shooter game where you can transform and climb stuff. The to-do list for this month includes area transitions, sky and background elements, fixing the player hitbox, game flow and level design, and a jumping enemy robot. Also, I've been talking to an awesome sound designer, and so there will be a short sound design demo at the end. Before we jump into it, let's take a quick look at some feedback. To make the shooting feel better, I improved the muzzle flash and added some subtle screen shake. The main gun also got a bit of a makeover to make it look more futuristic. I've added some scraps when drones explode so they don't just disappear, and lowered the volume of their explosion sound. Also, I adjusted the big robot's leg ragdoll so it feels heavier. The big robot now stumbles when it loses a leg and it tries to crush the player. I've made the laser wider and it actually knocks back the player now. Finally, instead of just shooting its weak points, you actually have to climb the robot to destroy its legs, and I've added clearer visual clues to indicate the weak points. Now let's have a look at the first major update. I want there to be a logical progression between areas, so just fading to black and loading the next scene wasn't really an option. Instead, every area is located on a different planet, and I've added a machine that launches the player between planets.
Oh, that's a sick transition.
And the next scene wasn't really an option. Instead, every area is located on a different planet, and I've added a machine that launches the player between planets.
That's a sick transition.
In this example, you can see two planets, both of which have a machine pointing at the other planet. Basically what happens is machine 1 shoots the player up and machine 2 catches the player. Similarly, machine 2 can then shoot the player back and machine 1 can catch him. Implementing the system was relatively straightforward. As always, I started with some modeling. After modeling the transportation device, I put together an interaction system to allow the player to actually use it. I then coded the movement and camera behavior and finally added some particles and animations to bring it all together. Next up is making the sky more interesting. I do like the colors, but overall the sky looks kinda boring. Oftentimes in sci-fi scenes there's these large rings indicating distant planets. Those look cool, so I decided to add them to the game. To have full control over the look of the sky, I decided to put individual quads with flat texture showing the distant planets. I did have to use a custom shader to make sure the built-in fog isn't applied to the sky object. The main issue with my approach was the camera render distance. Since the sky objects need to be far away, they would clip in and out the camera view all the time. To fix this, I'm now rendering the sky through a separate camera with a larger rendering distance. I figured increasing the rendering distance for the second camera is fine, as it only renders a few objects anyway.
Love it.
With the sky looking more interesting, it's time to move on to fixing the player hitbox. Currently, the player character has two different collision shapes. A capsule for the human form and a sphere for the creature. When switching between the two forms, it also switches the collision shape. Currently, the hit detection component is attached to the same object as the collision shapes, meaning the active collision shape also determines the hitbox. This would be fine if the collision shapes had a similar volume, however right now the collision shape is much larger for the creature form. This makes for gameplay that feels unfair, and so what I did is I made a separate trigger for the hit detection that functions independently from the collision shapes. The trigger is attached to the player body, so it will always be positioned correctly, regardless of whether you're climbing or running. Now the gameplay feels much more fair. Now let's get into the game flow and level design. This month I actually made a fairly big decision by throwing away most.
Go and check if this is the correct link.
Big competitive.
Most of the story to make room for more open gameplay. I had just modeled some walls and towers for the first area when I started playing the Pathless. Playing the Pathless made me realize how important it is to give players choice. Moving from area to area without anything interesting in between probably gets boring quick. I want my game to have at least some interesting choices and branching paths.
This game looks sick, what the fuck?
Boring quick. I want my game to have at least some
Infinite runner.
interesting
What the fuck? You have to actually target.
choices
You have to actually shoot.
and branching
How do you target that?
paths. With this new game flow in mind, I also got started on a new area and attempted to effectively use verticality to encourage climbing and exploration. Okay, it's finally time to add a new enemy. I decided to make a procedurally animated jumping robot. Seeing as my terrain is quite vertical, this seemed like a pretty good way for enemies to traverse the level. As always, the first step was to do some modeling and texturing.
What does it say brash? Am I missing something? I have 11. I only have... I need one more. Well, it's funny how these are similar to... I need one more. Good to know. Good. I need a easy break. Before that, what should it be? Joyful is a fun, gleeful. Kia, you found me. Rat. How much do we have? Crazy. I think angry would be just straight up angry. Have like one to 3 to 5 cube. Over TA. Over TA. Over 1, 2. Yeah, I still want to do something. I'll be right back. Right. Yeah, I think that's good for today for this part. I'm glad we got all this done. Maybe +1 or should it just be 2? If you bring the king, kind of your fault. You know? But you get 1. Actually, it can be +2 because the king here is +. Technically, this would be a 5 if you bring this king instead of bringing it to the federal spy. I actually like that better. +2 no matter what. You basically get +2 no matter what. It's not only 2, it's +2. Yeah, okay. What I want to do, I wanted to look through the later one. Because recently I found Hill one. Let's see if I can. Oh, we'll listen to D, also known as Cerberus Arms, from a Node, old member of Node.
Katanas. Pretty sweet, right? But have you ever wondered if that sweet-ass katana you bought at the mall was perhaps a little too friggin' sweet to be true? Perhaps the man with the ponytail who sold it to you told you it was battle-ready and made of glorious Nippon steel. Well, by the end of this video, you'll be able to tell the quality of a blade before even pulling it out of the sheath. And if that doesn't get you laid, I don't know what will.
Okay. Did he have a ponytail? I did buy 2. I got a deal. Fuck, what was it? It was like 2 katanas for $200. I think that was the deal. Or 300. At an anime convention. Hey. I have the Blue Exorcist sword, which is funny because I've never even read Blue Exorcist or watched it. But it looks sick. It was blue and green. I love that. And then I got Ichigo's Bankai, which is sick. I thought the pure black one, which is heavy. But yeah, they're just, this is metal. Like they're not even, like that quality is trash.
Is your katana real or fake?
Can I pay
We live in a
$2,000 for a
world full
katana?
of lies and deception. And if you don't know anything about
That's me.
katanas, you could get totally ripped off. Can you tell the difference between high carbon steel and fork metal? In order to do so, you'll need to know what makes a katana real or fake.
I'm just
Nowadays, you can buy katanas anywhere. You can get them on Amazon, pawn shops, that one weird store in the mall that sells dragon statues. For comparison, I have 2 katanas here. Nowadays, you can buy katanas anywhere. You can get them on Amazon, pawn shops, that one weird store in the mall that sells dragon statues.
I wish.
For comparison, I have 2 katanas
sick.
here. One is an authentic Paul Chen Kami katana, priced at around $2,000. This thing has it all. A hand-forged, folded K120C powdered steel blade that's differentially hardened using traditional methods. You can clearly see the tight grain pattern created by the folded steel. This sword is furnished with the highest quality fittings that Paul Chen offers, including real gold inlays and beautifully handcrafted details. This sword truly is a work of art. And today, we're going to compare it to this $200 sword I bought on Amazon yesterday.
Okay.
For starters, you gotta consider how much you're spending and where you're getting your sword from. If you're buying a $20 katana off eBay from a guy who calls all his swords battle ready, full tank Damascus steel, then he probably looks like this and you're probably gonna have a bad time.
And the nice thing about these practice katanas,
I remember this video.
that hurt.
The only website I know that sells real swords and calls them battle ready is Cult of Athena, but that's because that website was made in the year 2000 and it hasn't been updated since.
I feel like I'm gonna throw up.
Now the absolute minimum you're gonna need to spend if you wanna buy a real katana is around $200 to $300. Now that might seem like a lot, but the way I see it, These swords are like works of art. It's like buying a really expensive painting. Only difference is this piece of art can cut a man clean in two. Most of the time, you can tell the quality of a blade just by its furnishings. No one's gonna dress up a crappy blade with nice fittings. One of the easiest ways to tell if a katana is fake is by the thickness of the sageo. Now this is the cord wrapping that is around the scabbard. And it's a guarantee that if they skimped out on this, they definitely skimped out on the blade. The sageo should be a nice thick silk cord wrap. If it looks like a cheap polyester shiny shoelace that's super thin like this, then it's definitely fake. This rule also applies to the handle wrap. There's a quick test you can do by taking your thumb and attempting to move the handle wrap up and down on the handle. If it moves too much on the handle, that means the core wrap is both cheap and the person who did it didn't do a very good job. Next is the ray skin. Now this is one of the most difficult things to fake on a katana because ray skin tends to be pretty expensive. Real katanas use real dried stingray skin on the inside of the handles to give the cord wrapping something to grip onto. While fake katanas use molded cheap plastic imitation ray skin. An easy way to spot the difference is real ray skin tends to have deviations in both the size and patterning of the bumps. And also you should be able to see a clear separation in between the bumps on real ray skin as opposed to the molded plastic. Let's compare these two handguards. The Kami Katanas has intricate, painstakingly hand-carved details, gold inlays, and is cast out of thick, high-quality iron.
You say that the Kami Katanas has?
The Kami Katanas has.
Now onto the Amazon sword. The handguard looks cheap and brittle. The gold is painted on poorly. I wouldn't trust this handguard to protect my hand from even a judo chop.
And you got your ninja chop.
Let alone a sword strike. First, I'm gonna take a look at the Amazon sword. What?
Ew.
Huh, okay, well, I guess it's to protect the scabbard from the oil? I don't know. Or maybe protect the blade from the inside of the poorly made scabbard?
Oil was so nasty, dude.
Alright, so the first thing you're gonna notice on a katana is the temper line, or the hamon. It is the wavy pattern on the blade. Traditionally, the temper line is created by applying a special type of wet clay onto the edge of the blade before the final firing process. I'm not gonna go too into detail, but generally when you forge a sword, the higher the temperature, the more flexible the blade, while the lower the temperature, the harder and more durable it is. Traditional katanas do both in a process called differential hardening. This allows the spine to remain flexible, making the steel more resistant to breaking while at the same time retaining a super hard, durable edge. The Kami Katana has a traditional Paul Chen style wave motif going about the hamon, and you can tell that it is actually a truly differentially hardened blade. I mean, just look at this. This shit is beautiful. And because it's all done by hand, it means that no two swords are ever the same. Now, when you compare it to the Amazon sword, this hamon is clearly fake. It's cheaply acid etched onto the blade. You can tell because the edge is the same color as the rest of the blade, and the only discoloration is where they did the acid etching. This means the blade was not differentially hardened, meaning the edge is probably quite weak and brittle. Now, I'm no metallurgist, but I feel like it's safe to say that this probably isn't even made of high carbon steel. I would never recommend using this for cutting. Sure, you could slice some water bottles in your backyard with it, but anything more than that, you risk the blade snapping and potentially really injuring yourself.
Oh, that got me good.
So overall, I don't ever recommend buying one of these fake swords, even for display purposes. Sure, they might look cool and they're cheap, but if you consider that for less than $100 more, you can get a legitimate real katana, it just seems like such a waste of money.
Less than $100
Ronin,
more?
Chenis, and Paul Chen all make quality entry-level katanas for under $300 that are hand-forged and meant for cutting. I'll have links to them in the description if you guys are interested. Alright guys, hope you learned something, and if you want to check out some more katana videos, check out Matthew Jensen's Drunk Sword Reviews. He's a really funny guy who knows a lot more about swords than me, and he definitely deserves more views. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.
I want to watch those. Log new content. Seems like I didn't take any pictures from the place I thought I did. That kind of sucks. I guess I have to go and take some pictures. I want to say this Matthew Jensen guy. Any that I like. I'm gonna ship pic. Usually I curate the. Haven't in a long time, so go through the general. Made a sick. Here's a pretty. That's I fucking hate that filter though. There's another place that something like this. Gonna be able to find it. There's one specific one I'm thinking of. Oh, I should be able to see tall mountains in an image. I think it was actually this one. Oh yeah, it was this place. Yeah. Dude, there's so much in between the cliffs that I literally couldn't see. Fucking like almost such a deep up. And just the fog and this, dude. These were the biggest caverns like I've ever seen. I might not have. I didn't do. Got to do lifts for this one, so I don't know how to get back. I don't think I made a base there. Maybe I did actually. Did I? I think I didn't. That was a sick place. It was September. Yeah, that was the end of September. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. Hello. I have to click on your link. So, what? Most popular. Well, he did it, but he did an hour-long video. These are long videos.
Hello there, short friends. This is going to be a review and destructive test of this Ryujin Series 1095 Shinogi Zakuri with Bohi Katana. It's from their Kengo series, or at least that's what this little paper right here says. Though I can't find any reference to this Kengo thing anywhere else online. Anyway, before I get into the thick of it, there are a few things that I need to note. One, Ryujin reached out to me and asked me to do a review on this product, or asked me rather if I would be interested, and I said yes please. I noted that in my earlier first impressions video, but I'm going to go into a little bit more detail here. The important bit to note is that this sword was sent to me for free, and obviously it's in a state of disrepair now. I'll elaborate on that, but it was sent out to me from Ryujin. I didn't have to pay for it. They're not expecting it back. May think that it's measured from to use. It didn't cut me, bite me, do anything bad as I was using it. The grip was comfortable. At a good angle, cleanly, precise, not just moving through. And it took gusto, and all I was really able to do is muster getting through the mat as opposed to doing it well. So I didn't necessarily enjoy tatami cutting. Frankly, I cut more mats than I wanted to. I didn't bring a spare sword. I expected this one to do better. And if I had brought a different sword with me, I probably would have stopped after 1 or 2 mats just to have some test footage to show you. But I didn't enjoy cutting tatami.
Like ripping through it, not cutting cleanly. Not bad. Still ripping on the edges though. Not a fully clean cut.
Tatami, I think it could do better with a more refined edge, but not the
Oh,
greatest.
it's kind of the styrofoam. Alright, well, since I didn't find the video, or the picture I wanted, I was gonna draw it out. I don't feel it. I think I should take a picture and then draw on the picture. That's a good idea. The first sandworm I've ever seen. Jumping over this colossal archive. There's my ship. There's the sandworm. Right over. Anyway, I think that's enough. Today my voice is actually going. So to end it off, I did complete what I did today. Did actually a little extra. Didn't think I was gonna do the target encounters. I don't know if I'm gonna change them around. I think this attack thing is a bit of an issue. But yeah, we'll see in tests. We will see in tests. But yes, we now have capture or kill, which means dead or alive. Means all of the things that I mentioned. I don't think I'm gonna add the changes for infamy rewards just yet. And the brig death thing, maybe no way to prevent it, but maybe there will be a counter. We'll see. Okay. Alright, that's enough for today. Thank you whoever watched. No one chatted, but that's fine. We're just chatting. If you just want to lurk, I'm totally cool with that. But yeah. I was thinking of starting a Patreon. But I don't know if I have enough to show yet to start a Patreon. I feel like we still have a way to go. So I don't want anyone giving money at this point. It would feel weird. It would feel weird. Maybe in the coming weeks though. I don't know. We'll see. Alright. Peace out. See you next time.